Hello students, now we will start with the new chapter number 8, Human Health and Diseases. So, what is health? The state of complete physical, mental and social well-being is called health. Health does not simply mean the disease-free condition or the physical fitness. Okay, if anyone you can see do not have any disease and physically fit, you cannot say them you are healthy, because health means it should be completely physically fit, mentally fit, as well as socially fit. Okay, so health is affected by these three disorders. First one is genetic disorder, second one is infection, and third one is lifestyle. What do you mean by the genetic disorders? Means change in the genes or the nucleotide sequence leads to the genetic disorders. Okay, and the defect which child inherit from its parents. In case of genetic disorder, genes are changes, so it will inherit from one generation to next generation. Second one is infection. Infection means from microbes or the other organism, they can cause infection. Means maybe a viral disease, bacterial disease, or protozoan or helminth may cause infection. And the lifestyle, it includes the food and water that we take, exercise and rest we give to our bodies, habits that we have or lack. Means some disorders maybe arise due to wrong lifestyle, and if we enhance our the lifestyle in point of view, doing regular exercise and having good habit of eating balanced diet, then it will lead to healthy state also. Okay, so it depends upon the lifestyle also. Health can be affected by these three points. One is genetic disorders, second one is infection, and third one is lifestyle. Good health can be maintained by balanced diet. If you take a balanced diet, adequate amount of carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, minerals, water, then your health will automatically be good. Personal hygiene, if you take bath daily and wearing the clothes which are washed, so it is related to the personal hygiene. And the uh, and your bed should be clean, and your house and your office, school should be neat and clean. Okay, next is regular exercise. It is very must and very much necessary to have a regular exercise. It help you to keep healthy physically, mentally and socially also, because if you're doing regular exercise in the form of yogasan or just gymming also, it overall groom up yourself. Awareness about the disease and their effect, it also make you able to understand the type of diseases and how you can prevent these diseases from yourself. Immunization against the infectious diseases. Okay, you must remember this point. At this time in corona age, you can see everyone which are having the good immunity, they can resist from this corona or the covid-19 virus. But those who do not have much immunity, they are suffering from, they may suffering from the covid-19. And you can boost up your immunity by taking some kadhas and other medicine, ayurvedic medicine like the giloy etc. It will enhance your immunity. Proper disposal of the waste, the waste coming from your houses, your personal waste, it should be disposed properly, so that no any foreign substance like the mosquitoes and fleas can sit over there, and when it come again to your food and water, it contaminate. If you dispose properly, then it decrease the chances of contamination of your food, water, etc. Control of vectors. If you proper dispose and uh, do not uh, allow the stagnant water, then mosquitoes and fleas, etc., will automatically reduces, because these are the vector or the carrier of various pathogens. Pathogens means it include harmful bacteria, virus, fungi, etc. These are carried out by fleas and mosquitoes. Okay, so if you do not provide the breeding place to the mosquito and fleas, it will not carry the contaminants also. Okay, maintenance of hygienic food and water. You have to you have to develop some hygienic habits for taking the food and water in the healthy manner. Okay, so this is about health. Now have a look on disease. What is disease? Disease can be broadly grouped into infectious and non-infectious type. Infectious disease. Infectious means someone can cause infection. Okay, disease which are easily transmit from one person to another are called infectious diseases. Means it can transfer from one person to another person. For example, AIDS, common cold, malaria, and tuberculosis, etc. type of diseases. Non-infectious diseases. Diseases which cannot transmitted from one person to another person are called non-infectious diseases. Means it will not transferable from one person to another person. It is only up to the, it will limited only up to the person who developed this disease inside his body, his or her body. For example, cancer, hypertension, diabetes. It is not infectious. Okay. So here some of the common diseases which are present in the humans. So first point, disease causing microorganisms like the bacteria, virus, fungus, protozoa, helminths, etc. are called pathogens. Pathogen simply means which can cause the disease are called pathogen. It includes, these are the microorganisms. Okay. The pathogen can enter the body by the various means and multiply and interfere with the normal vital activities, resulting in morphological and functional damage in the body. So here some of the diseases, their causative organism, symptoms, effects, and the vector or the carrier if any. Okay, so first one we will discuss with typhoid. Typhoid is a disease caused by a bacteria, so it is a bacterial disease. A test for detection of typhoid is Vidal test. With the help of Vidal kit, we can identify if there is typhoid or not inside the body of a patient. Okay, typhoid is caused by Salmonella typhi. It is caused by this Salmonella typhi. Okay, symptoms. If some person having typhoid disease, then its symptom are sustained high fever, means continuously high fever will be there, and the body temperature will become 39 to 40 degrees Celsius. The normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, but it will increase up to 39 or 40 degrees Celsius, and it will sustain, means for the longer time it will uh, it keep this temperature. Weakness, the person will feel weakness in their body. Stomach pain, continuously pain in the stomach. Constipation, and the stomach will not stomach and intestine will not going empty, so it will lead to the constipation. Headache and loss of appetite, it will not demand for the food, further food. Okay, and the effect, the harmful effect of the typhoid is intestinal perforation, and in severe case death may also occur with this typhoid. Okay, how this salmonella typhi come to uh, any healthy person? If any healthy person can eat the food which are contaminated by the salmonella typhi bacteria, then this healthy person may lead to diseased with this typhoid. Okay, so the carrier or the vector may be, it may be um, carried through the air or direct contact of the salmonella typhi with the food and water. And this food, if uh, even taken by a healthy person, it will lead to typhoid. Okay, so this is first bacterial disease which I have discussed. Next is pneumonia. Pneumonia is also a bacterial disease because it is caused by streptococcus pneumoniae and haemophilus influenzae. These two bacteria may lead to pneumonia. You have to remember, streptococcus pneumoniae and haemophilus influenzae are the causative bacteria for the pneumonia disease. Symptom in case of pneumonia: person will lead to fever, it will lead to sorry, fever, chills, cough and headache. These are the symptoms for the pneumonia. Okay, person will feel fever, chills, cough and headache. And the effects of the pneumonia: alveoli, the lungs alveoli get filled with fluid. Okay, in the lungs, the terminal uh, sac is the alveoli, and alveoli get filled with fluid. It will leading to the severe problems in the respiration, because alveoli are the place where gaseous exchange take place between the lungs and the blood capillaries. Okay, but if alveoli get filled with mucus or the fluid, then this gaseous exchange will not take place. Person will suffering from uh, lack of oxygen. Okay, and other respiratory problems also will be there. So this is so dangerous, pneumonia in severe case. And how it carry to the person? By the contaminated air. If someone suffering from the pneumonia, if if he or she sneeze in the air, and the droplets of the sneeze may carry through the air up to the healthy person directly, or it will carry through the food or water, then it may lead to pneumonia also to the healthy person. Okay, so this is another bacterial disease. Here only two bacterial disease I have discussed. One is typhoid and that is pneumonia. You have to uh, read it again and again, and all the points for your examination point of view. Okay, and these are sufficient points you have to remember. Next, viral disease. First viral disease is common cold. Common cold is caused by a group of viruses. This group of virus is known as rhinovirus. Rhinovirus is not a single virus, it is a class of virus which leads to common cold type of diseases. Okay, and the symptoms of the common cold: nasal congestion. Okay, nasal congestion and discharge. You can see, because it is very commonly maybe in a year everyone may have a common cold every year at once in a year. Okay, nasal congestion, discharge, sore throat, and sore throat and harshness in the voice, cough, headache, and tiredness. These are the few symptoms of the common cold. Okay, and the effect infect the nose and respiratory passage, but not the lungs. Common cold is not a very serious or a severe disease. It is a very common disease, and during the cold season, most of the people get suffered from common cold. It survive up to 6 to 7 days, and automatically the person again free from this common cold or become healthy. Okay, and you do not require to take medicines, because if you take medicine, then only 1 or 2 days before you can be healthy. If you do not take, it will keep on up to 6 to 7 days, and after that you will again uh, uh, feel healthy. Okay, and uh, if you talk about the vaccination, so no vaccination for the common cold diseases. Okay, that's why it occurs every year to most of the peoples. And from where this common cold carried? From the contaminated air and the objects. Objects means any utensils, or your bed, your pillow, or from a book, copy, pencil, from anywhere, where the contaminant of the this virus, it will come from that object up to your respiratory tract, and it will lead to common cold. Okay, so this is first viral disease. The next one, okay, here only one viral disease in your syllabus, that is common cold. The next one is protozoan disease. It is malaria. We will discuss in more detail about the malaria and the life cycle of the plasmodium. Here only few points we will discuss about this disease, malaria. The causative organisms are plasmodium. The common name is plasmodium, and it has many species like the plasmodium vivax, plasmodium malaria, and plasmodium falciparum. Out of these three, plasmodium falciparum is most dangerous form of malaria. Okay, symptoms of the malaria are chill and high fever recurring 3 to 4 days. Recurring means it repeat again and again. Okay, 3 to 4 days means if it is having a cycle of fever. uh, just suppose it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you feel chill, your body is shivering from the chill, and after 3 to 4 hours you having high body temperature. Okay, just suppose 5 o'clock in the evening, you will feel much high temperature in your body. Okay, then after few hours you will feel like I am healthy, and again after 1 day or 2 days you again feel shivering and chilling in your body at the same time, again 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and again 5 o'clock you will feel again the body temperature is very high. Okay, so it continuously keep on up to 3 to 4 days. This is the malaria fever. Okay, the chill and the high fever recurring 3 to 4 days recurring. This is the symptom for the malaria. Means you can easily observe the patient and identify that maybe suffering from malaria. And the effects of malaria parasite is, parasite multiply within the liver cell, and then attack the RBC cells. Okay, we will discuss about these points in the life cycle of the malaria. And you know well, it is the malaria parasite is carried out by female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, so this is protozoan disease. Another protozoan disease is amoebiasis. This amoebiasis, or it is also known as amoebic dysentery. Okay, it is again a protozoan disease. Causative agent is Entamoeba histolytica, and the symptoms due to the amoebiasis are constipation. Okay, the your stomach will not be empty. Stomach, intestine feel something continuously is there. That is called constipation. Abdominal pain and cramps, stool with the mucus and the blood clots. Okay, and the effect of this amoebiasis is infect the large intestine especially, and the carrier of this amoebic is this entamoeba histolytica is house flea or house flies. Okay, the next disease, so these two are the protozoan disease which you have to remember. One is malaria, another is amoebiasis. Now we will talk about helminthic disease, that is Ascariasis. It is caused by Ascaris. Ascaris is an helminth, is a helminth. Okay, the symptoms in case of Ascaris. Ascaris, if it attack on the inside, it live inside the your intestine. If it is there, so it is an internal parasite. Okay, and Ascaris may lead to internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, it means deficiency of hemoglobin, blockage of the intestinal passage. Okay, these are the things which can occur due to presence of Ascaris in the intestine. Okay, and the effects are eggs of the parasite excreted along with the feces of the infected persons, which contaminate the soil, water, and plants. And these eggs may carried out by water, vegetables, fruits contaminated with these egg parasites. Okay, in the animal kingdom, you already studied about this Ascaris and its disease Ascariasis and its life cycle also. So okay, I think it is sufficient for this chapter about the Ascaris. Okay, it is helminthic disease. Name of the disease is Ascariasis. Symptoms are internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia, blockage of the intestinal passage, and the effects are the egg of the parasite are excreted along with the feces of the infected persons, which contaminate the soil, water, and plants. Okay, and water, vegetable, fruits, etc. are contaminated with the egg of this parasite, and when someone consume this water, vegetable, fruits, it will lead to Ascariasis again. The next helminthic disease is elephantiasis, or it is also named as filariasis, and it is caused by Wuchereria. Its zoological name is Wuchereria bancrofti, and another example is Wuchereria malai. Okay, you have to remember elephantiasis or the filariasis disease is caused by Wuchereria bancrofti and Wuchereria malai. The symptom in case of elephantiasis is there is inflammation in the lower limbs and genital organs. Okay, in the NCERT you can see the diagram how it is severe, how it is dangerous. Okay, next, the effect of the elephantiasis is the lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs get blocked. Okay, and the carrier of Elephantiasis is again the female mosquitoes. Okay, so uh, we have discussed two helminthic disease. One is Escherichiasis and there is Elephantiasis. One fungal disease is ringworm. Ringworms are of many types. So it is ringworms type of diseases caused by various type of fungi like the Microsporum, Trichophyton and Epidermophyton. The symptoms of these ringworms: appearance of dry scaly lesions on various parts of the body like the skin, nail and scalp. Okay, and the effect of this ringworms or these fungi inside the body or on the body are these lesions, means this dry scaly lesions are accompanied by the intense itching, heat and moisture. If you give, it will help these fungi to grow, which make them thrive in skin folds such as those in the groin, means between the legs, or between the toes, means between the fingers of your legs. Okay, so it is advised in case of any ringworms, not much use of the um, your soap, because it provide much more nutrition to these fungi. So in this case some antifungal lotions will be advised to you. Okay, and the vector or the carriers are soil itself, soil, or by using the towel, clothes or even comb of the infected individual. Okay, so these are few diseases. Now have a look on life cycle of Plasmodium. Okay, Plasmodium enter into the human body as a small sporozoite. You can see the diagram here like this. Just have a look on this diagram, this flow chart. First we will discuss about the theory and then we will discuss about this diagram. Okay, now the Plasmodium enters the human body as a small sporozoite. Okay, small sporozoites means this is a protozoa. Plasmodium is a protozoa, and it is a type. Which type of protozoa? Protozoa are of many type. If there are pseudopodia, pseudopodial type. If there is cilia in the body, the ciliated type of protozoa. And this Plasmodium produces spores. So this is spore producing protozoa, and its spore named as sporozoites. In human body this Plasmodium enters as a spore, so it is named as sporozoites. Okay, Plasmodium enter the human body as a small sporozoite through the bite of infected female Anopheles. Female in Anopheles, this is the carrier for the Plasmodium, and multiplies within the liver cell. Okay, it reaches up to our liver cells. There it will multiply asexually, continuously divide. And you know well uh, the fission are of two type. One is binary fission, another is multiple fission. In case of amoeba and the bacteria, there is binary fission, but in case of Plasmodium it is multiple fission. So multiple copies are produced, multiply inside the liver cell, later attacks the RBCs. When any liver cell is known as histiocytes, when it filled with this Plasmodium sporozoites, and then the liver cell get ruptured and these sporozoites come outside attack on the RBC cell, and same process occurs with this RBC cells. Means rupture in the RBC cells, it also continuously divide by multiple fission, and when it get filled with the sporozoite, then RBC cell get ruptured and all the sporozoites release from the body, and inside the RBCs sporozoites also produce a toxic substance named as hemozoin. You have to remember this, okay? Hemozoin is the toxic material which is produced inside the RBC cells when the plasmodium multiplied. When any RBC cell get ruptured, all the sporozoite along with this toxic substance hemozoin come out, which is responsible, this hemozoin actually responsible for the high fever and chill recurring every 3 to 4 days. Okay, this is the chemical which is responsible for this cyclic fever. Next point, malaria parasite requires two hosts. One is human, another is female Anopheles mosquito to complete its life cycle. The female Anopheles is the vector of this disease to the human beings. Next point, the different species of the plasmodium like the plasmodium vivax, plasmodium malaria, plasmodium falciparum are responsible for the different type of malaria. Malaria are of different type which is caused by these different type of species of plasmodium. And out of these, malignant form means most dangerous or most fatal form is caused by plasmodium falciparum, is the most serious one and can be fatal, most serious one and can be fatal. Okay, now see the flow chart. In the flow chart you can see from here, have a look on this. First point, when the mosquito bite another human, sporozoites are injected with the bite. Means this mosquito, it is not necessary that each female Anopheles having this sporozoite. If there is any patient, there are any one patient of malaria, then only it will carry forward. Okay, so when the mosquito bite the any human, and the in the saliva uh, of this mosquito having the sporozoites, then it will inject with the bite, and from this biting, after this biting, the parasite means this plasmodium sporozoites reach to the liver cell through the blood. Initially when it is present in the blood, it will not harm the blood, it is just blood becomes just become the carrier, and this sporozoite reaches up to the, this is the liver, and it reaches inside the liver cell. Liver is made up of many liver cell known as hepatocytes. In each hepatocyte, it in any one of the hepatocyte, this sporozoite will be taking place. Then the parasite reproduce asexually in the liver cell, bursting the cell and release into the blood. Okay, this is you can see it is hepatocyte, these are the sporozoite. First it enter into the liver cell, its count is very less, but it multiply asexually by the multiple fission, its number increases, and when the hepatocyte is completely filled with the sporozoite, then the liver cell burst and sporozoite released outside. After that it enter into the RBC cell. So write this, parasite reproduce asexually in the red blood cells, bursting the red blood cells and causing cycle of fever and other symptoms. Released parasites infect new red blood cells. Okay, because this is number of sporozoites. It infects most of the RBCs, and when it filled and burst, and number of sporozoite again increases multiple times, and each sporozoite can infect other RBC cells also. So it is very much serious. It becomes severe. After that, what happens? Sexual stage, gametocyte develop in the RBC cells. For increasing its number inside the human, it reproduce asexually so that it can increase its number. But when it want to infect the another person, then it starts sexual reproduction, and in the sexual reproduction it will produce the gametes. Okay, means gametocytes. So some gametes will be male, some will be female gamete. These when mosquito comes, this female anopheles mosquito comes, take up the gametocyte with the blood meal. This mosquito is biting this infected human. By sucking the blood, it also suck these gametocytes from the blood of this patient. So now this mosquito contain the gametes of this plasmodium. So the fertilization is taking place inside the saliva of this mosquito. Fertilization and development take place in the mosquito's intestine. The place is intestine where the fertilization between this male and female gamete is taking place in, okay, inside the intestine of this mosquito. And then the mature infective stages is known as sporozoite. It escape from the intestine and migrate to the mosquito salivary gland. From inside the intestine, what happens? Fertilization is taking place between this male and female gamete of the protozoa, and after that sporozoites will be produced. These sporozoites are infectious form, so it enter into the salivary gland of the mosquito, and when this mosquito bite another human, these sporozoites enter into the body of this person, and again the same process will be happen. It enter into the liver cells, from liver cells enter into the blood cell, from the blood cell it release hemozoin and other sporozoite. Number is continuously increasing, and for the complete its life cycle into the another person, it reproduce sexually, means it produce gametes, few male gametes and female gametes. Fertilization is taking place inside the mosquito intestine, and after that fertilization the sporozoites will be produced. Sporozoite enter into the salivary glands of the mosquito, and then when this mosquito bite any person, healthy person, it inject these sporozoite along with its saliva into the um, person's blood. Okay.